Hey guys, it's October 29th. It's 10:07 a.m. I'm done trading for the day. I just uploaded a video on YouTube and it's a recap of my pre-market trade, and I really think that everyone should watch it because there's some important lessons in there, and you just watch it because you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, and I think you're going to learn a lot from it, and it's going to save you money in your trading. But basically, I made some mistakes in the trade that I shouldn't have. I go over all of that in the video. But what you might be asking yourself after you watch the video is, okay, great. I see the mistake you made, but how do I avoid this when this happens to me? Because you might not remember this video, say 10 days from now when you're trading, right? So the only way to keep yourself from making mistakes, especially repeatable mistakes. The mistake I made in this video was on like a 3-bar play, and I haven't done one in a while, and I understand the 3-bar play very well. I studied it a lot. I know exactly where to enter and exit and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, I haven't done one in a while, and I was a little bit rusty. And in the moment, with emotions are running high when you're entering a trade, you guys know what I'm talking about. And I guess it wasn't crystal clear in my head. It wasn't like I was in the moment. I wasn't questioning, oh, where do I get in? I felt like in the moment I know exactly what I'm doing, and this is going to be a perfect entry, and this is a textbook 3-bar play. And watch the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. So after that, something like that happens, how do you avoid that in the future? You got to have a trading plan, and you may need to update it so that you don't make those mistakes again. Now, this is my trading plan that was actually from last week, and you can see here I'm recycling it. See, it says last week of October, but now I've updated it for next week because it's a good plan. I started off the week with like 152 and I think 39 cents in my day trading account, and you can see I'm down a little bit, almost $2. But and most of the reason why I'm down that is because of the trade today, and then one other big mistake that I made that I have now added into this plan so that I don't make those again in the future. And that's really the only way you can avoid repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Other than that, it was a pretty good week, and this plan is working out really well for me. It's taken care of a lot of the issues that I've had previously, so I'm going to keep the plan the way it is. I'll scroll through it, and you can pause the video if you want to read it. It's not everything you need to know to day trade for sure, but this gives you an idea of some of the things that I think about before I take a trade. So as far as like patterns go and stuff like that, I have that stuff somewhere else because one of the things you need to do is read your plan every single day before you start trading, and that way all that stuff is fresh in your mind. And there's no question about whether you should be in a trade or not. If it matches your plan and it's a pattern that you trade, then you should be in it. All right, so the thing, if you watch that video, the issue was with a 3-bar pattern. So after the fact, this wasn't in my plan before. I just thought, here I'm thinking like getting complacent, thinking, wow, the 3-bar play, it's an easy one. When I see it, I'll jump right in. It'll be a piece of cake. But, like I said, I haven't done one in a long time, and I screwed up. So I added this in. If you're trading a 3-bar pattern, you cannot enter until the 3rd bar breaks the high of the previous 2 bars. If you watch the video, you'll know exactly why I wrote that in. And then rule number 3, I also added this because there's a 4-bar pattern that is basically the same as the 3-bar pattern with 1 extra bar, and I want to beat myself over the head with this rule so I don't screw it up again. If you're trading a 4-bar pattern, you cannot enter until the 4th bar breaks the high of the previous 3 bars. So the other issues with that trade was, and again, it wasn't like a blatant average down like I've done, I haven't done this in a long time, but way in the past. I got in the bad habit of averaging down, and it worked out a whole bunch of times. And then one trade, it was like my worst trade ever, and it was because I averaged down. So basically, I was getting re-encouraged for bad behavior, and the market can do that sometimes. So it's better to, like 9 times out of 10 it could work, and then that 10th time it could go so bad against you that it wipes out the 9 previous gains, and that's exactly what happened in this case, and that was months ago, not the trade that I took earlier. But that's why I have this as rule number one, is never average down. When you average down, you're admitting that you're in a losing trade and you're putting more money into it. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Can it work sometimes? Yeah, it can. But it's like I said, it basically worked 9 times for me, and then the 10th time it worked so badly against me that it wiped out all those 9 times. So you might have to learn the hard way, or you could just take it from me not to do it. So I highlighted that because if you watch the video that I uploaded today, I averaged down once, not in that same way that I was just talking about. I kind of justify it in the video, but it's still a rule, and it's a rule that I broke, and I shouldn't have done it. It didn't help. It made things worse, and you'll see in the video if you watch it what that's all about. So that covers the trade today, what went wrong and why, or how I'm going to prevent it from happening in the future. And then the other issue that I had this week, the only other reason that I had some red days this week, or really yesterday, was I didn't check the daily chart. Now, this is something that I do pretty well, like almost all the time. But day trading, there's basically no margin for error. Even if you do everything right, the trade can still fail. So you got to do everything right. And then if the trade fails, at least okay, look, I did everything I could, and now I'm just going to take my stop and move on to the next thing. But I had one trade yesterday that I also have a video. It was a trade I took in the aftermarket yesterday that failed. But it's a trade I shouldn't have been in the first place. And in the moment, I didn't catch it. I only realized after the fact that I forgot to check the daily chart, So the aftermarket trading is something kind of new for me, and I've been doing it about a week now, and I'm trying to catch runners like just as they're taking off. So I kind of felt some urgency, like, okay, here's one that popped up on the aftermarket gainers, and it's moving. I got to get in before it passes me by, and I didn't take the time to check the daily chart, and I didn't even really think about it. I looked at a bunch of other stuff. I looked at some other time frames. I saw that there was news. It was like, wow, there's so many things adding up to make this a good trade. Let me get in it. And I got in it where, like a good pattern setup that I would normally take. So everything was looking great, and then the trade fails. And then, originally I'm just thinking, well, look, this was a good trade and it just didn't work out. And what could I have done about it? Then when I reviewed the trade, I realized, wait a minute, the daily chart looks terrible. It was in a downtrend. The price action was below the 200 MA line. And those are 2 reasons that I don't take a trade, no matter what else, everything else looks like. If the daily chart doesn't look good, I don't take a trade on it. So that's something I had in my mind, but it wasn't written in my plan explicitly, and since I screwed that up yesterday, I wrote it into my plan. So those are the things that I've added into my plan for the coming week, and I'm taking tomorrow off, if I didn't already say it. Taking tomorrow off because I broke too many rules today, and traded kind of sloppy. So I shouldn't be trading tomorrow. I'm feeling kind of like a little beat down from this week anyway. But overall, I'm optimistic because, like I said, the trading has been crazy lately. The market has been crazy, and this week was a very small loss overall of just like maybe just under a couple dollars. I was at like 152.29 at the beginning of the week, or 152.39. Excuse me, at the beginning of the week. So I've lost just under $2. It's really not bad at all. That's almost one. I mean, it's a little more than 1% of my account, but it's for the entire week. So I really can't complain. If you're going to have a red week, you want it to be small. And my previous weeks before I had this plan lately have been a lot more red than that. And, so I knew I had to kind of tighten things up, and that's why I'm sticking with this plan and going to recycle it as long as it continues to work and just update it as need be. The other important thing is just to read your plan every single day before you trade. I did this video a minute ago and had to restart it, so hopefully I'm not repeating myself. But yeah, you got to read your trading plan every single day before you start trading. That way everything is fresh in your mind. It's crystal clear. When you get ready to get into a trade, there's no question about whether or not you should be in it. If it matches your plan and it's a pattern that you trade, then you have to take it. And then if it does fail, you know you did everything right, and you're okay with taking your stop, you know, because you said, all right, this meets my criteria and I have to take it. And then, you know, chances are it'll probably work out. But, you know, I think even when you do everything right, you got about a 50-50 shot of the trade working out. And that's why, you know, the risk management thing is there and so important. You got to take your stop losses, and hopefully your stops are tight enough, you know, not overly tight, but, you know, say like the low of the previous candle. That way, you know, your runners should be bigger than that. And if only half your trades work, or maybe even 40% of your trades work, you should still be in the green in the long run when you trade that way. So anyway, that's it for today, and that's it for the week. And I hope you guys had a good week trading, and I hope these videos are helping and that you're learning from them, and I hope I'm not talking too much. All right, guys, I'll see you on Monday next week. Have a great weekend.